Hello guys, this is Mauro from Infotech.com, and on this video I will walk you through all the new features and changes included on the Windows 10 Creators Update. So the Creators Update is here, and it is packed with new features, changes and improvements that makes Windows 10 much better and more secure. There is a lot to cover, so let's get right into it. Before we move on, here's a few details. The Creators Update is the third major update for Windows 10. It is available starting April 11th, 2017, but note that it will take time until it reaches every device. It is referred as version 1703, and the initial build number is 15063. Let me show you really quick that when you see the when you go to the About page on the Settings app, you can now check that the version number is 1703 and the OS number is 15063. If you have these two, that means that you're running the latest version of the Windows 10 Creators Update. So let's dive into the new changes. Let's start with the Start menu. The Start menu isn't getting a lot of changes, but the Creators Update is including two new improvements. Similar to tablet mode, you can now hide the All Apps list. So right now, when you open the Settings app, you get two sections: the Pin Tiles right here on the right and All Apps on the left. Now, if you go to Settings, Personalization, Start, you can now turn off the Show App List in the Start menu. And when you go back to the menu, you will notice that now you will only get the Pin Tiles section, but you can still access your All Apps by clicking the button on the left, and that way you can access all your apps, and you can switch back and forth between the two. And if you don't like this mode anymore, you can always go back into the Settings app and turn on the Show App List in a Start menu back again, and then you go back and you will see the two new sections. In addition, in the Start menu, you can now group tiles to create folders just like on Windows 10 Mobile by dragging and dropping a tile on top of another tile. Once you created a folder, you will also get a preview of all the items inside, and if you want to delete a folder, simply you just drag and drop the tiles outside of the folder, as I'm doing right now. So I just deleted a folder. While this is not a big feature, it will help users to optimize the space in the Start menu and organize tiles. On the Creators Update, Cortana also gets a number of improvements. For example, now when your computer it's unlocked and idle for at least 10 seconds and you say the Hey Cortana command, you will get the same full screen experience that you will get when your PC is locked, which was a feature introduced on the anniversary update. So let me just try this out, and I'm just going to say, Hey Cortana.
Why was the calendar nervous? Its days were numbered.
As you can see, now this is the full screen experience while your computer is unlocked, and you can ask any question, and you can, if you just want to get out, just click the X button and you're back into the desktop. And now if you're right here, if you say Hey Cortana, it should open the listening mode at the bottom of the screen, as you can see right now. Cortana now also allows you to control music playback on more apps, including apps such as iHeartRadio and TuneIn Radio, and you won't have to repeat the same name of the app every time that you say a command, because the system will now remember the last app you used to play music. So if you start playing iHeartRadio and then you just need to skip the song, you don't need to tell Cortana the name of the app. Just simply say the command, and Cortana should be able to remember the app you're using and skip to the next song. Now it is also easier to learn commands on apps. So if you do a search for an app using the Cortana search box, the assistant now will suggest apps that you can use for a particular app. For some reason, this actually used to work, or maybe just because the app hasn't been updated, the one I'm using. But if you type Pandora, for example, you should be able to see the commands, but you don't see it right here. But let me just show you an earlier preview. You can see that I type Pandora, and as you can see at the bottom, you will see powered by Cortana, and you will see the commands that you can use to with this app. I'm sure that when you get the update, you're going to get this feature, but for this video, it's not actually working for me. Perhaps one of the best addition on Cortana for the Creators Update, it's a new feature that is known as pick up where you left off. Similar to Apple's Mac OS, you can now start working on an app, file, or website that you're reading on Microsoft Edge and pick up where you left off on another computer using Cortana, as long as you're using the same Microsoft account. So basically, if you, for example, started reading an article on Microsoft Edge, and then you lock your PC and then just go to another device, now you should be able to open Cortana, and on the home screen you should be able to see those tasks and resume by just clicking the item. It should appear on Cortana's home screen and on the Action Center. As you can see right now, I have Cortana on Action Center, and I have resume from other devices. And as you can see now, I was using Microsoft Edge, and I was on these 3 different websites: YouTube, Bing, and my Microsoft account. So I can simply click the task, and it will resume. Supposedly, it should resumed, but I guess there you go. So at least one worked, and I can just resume where I left off on another device, which is a really nice addition. This feature should be enabled by default, but if it isn't working for you, just open Cortana and then go to the notebook section, and then scroll down, and you should see a new item that it's called pick up where I left off, and just make sure that the option is turned on. That's off, that's on, and click save to apply the settings. And when you see that your setting has been updated, you should be good to go. So this happens instantaneously. So if you're working on another device and you lock it and then just go to another device, you should see it right away. So if you don't see it, just make sure that that feature is turned on. Now let's move on into Action Center. Action Center is not getting a lot of significant changes, but now the Windows Store apps will show the download progress on Action Center. So let me see if I still see it. So I was trying to download a game, so I'm going to go back and try to resume that. I'm going to click resume and see if we can now see. Let's see if that works. Let's get something else. Let's get an app. Let's install Kodi. Going to install that, and as you can see now, you can see the the game that I'm downloading is getting the progress bar, as you can see right there. So I'm not going to finish this, so I'm just wanted to show you how that worked. So I'm going to cancel the download, and now let's move on into File Explorer, because the experience is getting tips, notifications to help you discover new features on Windows 10. Typically, you will see this new notification after installing a new version of Windows 10. I don't have it on my computer right now, but let me show you a an image that shows you this is the type of notifications that you're going to get after installing a new version of Windows 10. And you can click the close button right here on the top right. But if you don't want to see it, you can quickly turn that off by open File Explorer and then go to View, Options, and then View, and then uncheck the Show Sync Provider Notifications and click Apply. Okay, and you will no longer see that new feature on File Explorer. On version 17.03, the Windows 8 flyout to share content with other apps, it's getting replaced with a new Windows Share experience. For example, when you need to share content, such as on Microsoft Edge, you can now click the Share button, and you will see the new experience where you can pick the app that you want to share this content. And also you will see that Windows 10 will also promote a few other apps that you can get from the store. And if you're trying to share with an app that it's not listed, you can click the get apps from the store, so you can install and then come back and trying to share that content again. So let me just show you. I'm just going to share it with the Cortana reminders tool. So I'm going to click that, and you will see that the experience is now creating a reminder, and that's it. So I could have done the same thing, sharing it on Twitter or Facebook or any other app. Also, Windows 10 now lets you use a new keyboard shortcut, the Windows key plus Shift plus S, to capture parts of the screen and copy it to the clipboard, so you can then paste it on other apps, including Word or OneNote, for example. So let me just show you this really quick. I'm going to use the Windows Shift and S, and you will see that now I get the experience. So I'm selecting what I want to capture, and boom, that's it. This will not save the capture as an image. It will only be stored on the clipboard, so you can open Word or OneNote and just paste it in there. Now let's jump into the Windows Ink changes for the Creators Update. We're not getting a lot of changes, but you will see a few improvements. For example, now when you use the Screen Sketch or the Sketchpad, you can now use a protractor. Before we only had the ruler, but now you can switch that out and use a protractor, which you can also change size, and you will see the degrees as you create circles, as you can see right here. And also on a Screen Sketch and the Sketchpad, you will get a preview of the color and width of the ink as you make your choice. As you can see right now, it's orange, and then I'm going to switch it to green, and now you will see that the icon now switches color, so you can see the color you picked. And also when you change the size, you will see how the width changes. So now you get a glance of how that ink is going to look like. As you can see right now, I just made a perfect circle. The other addition on this version of Windows Ink, it's a resume previews. As you can see this icon right here, you can click that, and then you can come back to the to your previous sketch that you were using. Let me see if I can switch back to, yeah, and you can switch back and forth between the two. As you create new ones, you will not see, for example, like if I close this, I leave this open and I close it and I open it again, I will only be able to get the previous one, and the other one, the third one, will be deleted from this feature. In addition, as part of the Windows Ink experience, Sticky Notes gets updated. And when you're using digital ink to write a note, sticky notes will be able to recognize when you're typing addresses, time, phone numbers, stock symbols, and flat information. So that's basically all that's new on the Windows Ink experience. And now let's move on. Some user interface changes that are happening with the version 17.3 for Windows 10. So let me start with the Power User menu. If you don't know what that is, it's the menu that appears when you right click the Start button, and you will see a lot of changes on this menu. For example, now the Power User menu removes the Programs and Features item that used to open control panel, and now has been replaced with the Apps and Features. Will actually opens Apps and Features on the Settings app, as I just did right now. Also, you will no longer see the Mobility Center item listed on the menu. You will still see the Power Options right here, the item, but it will no longer open the power options for control panel. Instead, it will open the power options for the Settings app, as you can see right now. The same is true for System. Then now it's easier just to get to the About page on the Settings app and to access network connections. Network connections used to open control panel, and now it also opens the Settings app, as you can see right now. Also, when you right click the Start button, you will no longer see the control panel option here, and because it has been replaced with the Settings app. And as you probably are noticing, Microsoft is pushing more the Settings app and trying to fade out the old control panel, because eventually that's going to disappear from Windows 10. It will take a while, but it will disappear. And finally, also in this menu, the command prompt items has been replaced with Windows PowerShell. Command prompt isn't going away, but Microsoft is now pushing more PowerShell, so that's why you will see these new items by default. If you like to have the command prompts items, you can always go to Settings, and then go Personalization, and then you go to, I think it was a taskbar, and you can see right here, replace command prompt with PowerShell option. You click, you turn that off, and then when you open the Power User menu, you will see command prompt again. And another place that Microsoft is pushing more PowerShell, it's when you are on File Explorer, and let's say that you're on this music folder. You used to be able to hold Shift and then right click, and before you used to be able to open command prompt, and now the option has been replaced with the open PowerShell windows here. So that's also has been replaced. Unfortunately, there is not an option to change this back to command prompt. Another user interface change that is happening on the Windows 10 Creators Update, it's on apps, similar to picture-in-picture mode that you get on your TV. So right now, these features, it's built into the operating system, but it's up to developers to make this feature available on apps. Currently, if you use the movies and TV on the Windows 10 Creators Update, you will see a new button that says Played in Mini Mode, and when you click that, you will get the picture-in-picture mode. And then when you want to leave the mode, just click the button again, and you will get out of that mode. This will be helpful for users that like to multitask, and they can be watching a movie, a video, and be doing something else like checking their emails. This also is going to work for Skype, so you can have a Skype call and have a video chat and be working on something else. Finally, another change happening on this version of Windows 10. Now you will get a quicker access to VPN settings. When you open the network menu from the notification area, now you can connect to VPNs directly from the menu rather than having to open the VPN settings screen to access that option. I don't have a VPN setup, so I can't show you that, but that's also included on this version of the operating system. Also, if you're using Windows 10 on a tablet connected to an external monitor and you don't have a keyboard and mouse nearby, when you're doing a presentation for PowerPoint or any type of slideshow, you can use now the new virtual touchpad that Microsoft is including with the Windows 10 Creators Update. If you don't see the icon for the virtual touchpad on the notification area, you have to right click the taskbar and just make sure to check the show touchpad button, and then just click the icon on the bottom right corner, and you will see the new virtual touchpad. You can use this surface, and you also get a left and right click, and that's pretty much it. This is how the virtual touchpad looks like on this new update. Now let's talk about some of the system changes on the Windows 10 Creators Update. On devices with 3.5 gigabytes or more of RAM, you will notice in Task Manager that service host will now split into separate processes. As with today's hardware, there is no substantial memory saving by grouping them into one process. So moving forward, you're going to see a lot of system host processes, but they will only have one process, and you're still gonna see some of them with a few processes, but not all of them. You start going to see more, and you will see descriptions too, so you can have a better understanding of what's going on that specific process. And with this change, Microsoft is hoping to improve reliability, transparency, servicing efficiency, and security with the operating system. In addition, Windows 10 introduces new scaling improvements, and now some of desktop applications will automatically look more crisp on displays with high-density pixels, like those fancy 4K displays that now we have in the market. Microsoft is even adding a new option called System Enhanced to improve scaling on your desktop applications. You can enable this feature by right-clicking an app and accessing its property, and then just need to go to the compatibility tab, and now you will see a new override high DPI scaling behavior. You have to check that option, and now you can access the drop-down menu, and you can choose the System Enhance, and once you select that, you only have to click apply and OK, and that setting should make your desktop app look much better on the Windows 10 Creators Update. But this is only going to work with those desktop applications. This will not work with Windows Store apps because they're already optimized for high density pixel displays. Also, Windows 10 now rearranges and scales desktop icons when you switch between different displays and scaling settings. This will preserve your custom icon layout rather than scrambling them on the desktop. The Creators Update also introduces the Unified Update Platform, which is a new update delivery technology that uses differential downloads that only contains the changes since the last update. The new approach reduces the download size of feature updates by 35%, making it faster to download and install a new version of Windows 10. Because its features being added now, you will see this benefit starting with the next major update of the operating system. Windows 10 now also offers a prompt with options to postpone pending updates and prevent unexpected reboots. So when you install the Creators Update and new updates are ready to install, you will get a prompt like this one right here with 3 options. If you're ready to install the update, you can click the Restart Now button, or you can click the pick a time, so you can schedule a time to apply new updates. But you also now get a snooze button that this allows you to postpone the update for 3 days, which should be enough time to save your data. On version 17.03, the registry also adds a few improvements. On this new version, you will get a new address bar that, even though it might look not as like a big feature, it makes it a lot easier to jump between paths. So let's say you found a tweak that you can do on Windows 10 on the internet, and instead of just having to browse through all the entries, you can simply paste the path here and then just press enter, and it would just jump into that path. In addition, now if you want, you can change the font style. So if you just go to view and font, you can now change the font style and size if that's something that you need. And as you can see, now you can change those settings as well. Other system improvements with the Windows 10 Creators Update includes now when you're entering a pin in the lock screen, you no longer have to press the num-lock key. So this means that typing a number will just work. Windows 10 version 17.03 also adds supports for wireless 802.11ad technology standard, also known as WiGig. Using WiGig on supported wireless network adapters and routers can make use of the 60 gigahertz frequency to deliver up to 8 gigabits of speeds. Windows 10 now also remembers the apps you uninstall on your computer, so they won't get reinstalled on future feature updates. Microsoft is also making a big push on 3D. So on the Creators Update now includes support for 3D and ships a new version of Paint, which is called Paint 3D, which I'm going to show you those new features later on the video. This update also includes Windows Mixed Reality, which brings support for augmented reality and virtual reality, and it allows manufacturers to build their own headsets and plug it into Windows 10 without additional software. This update is also big on gaming. The Windows 10 Creators Update brings support for 4K resolution for games, and Beam comes integrated into the operating system for broadcast gameplay. We're also getting a game mode, which is a new feature that allows the operating system to control the system resources to increase gaming performance. And games that you acquire from the Windows Store now includes drivers to make sure that games you buy will always have the required driver, so you don't have to hunt them down after installing a game. The operating system also is including support for Dolby Atmos sound for Blu-ray content and high dynamic range, also known as HDR, and wide color gamut support for games and media. The Creators Update also brings a few new apps. In this new version, you will find a new Paint 3D, and on this app allows you to create 3D projects, and you can also connect to Remix 3D, which is an online community where you can find and share 3D projects with other people. For the purpose of this video, I'm just going to click this one right here, and I'm going to click the download button. And once you have the project, you can edit it, modify it, and if you have a 3D printer, you can also print this as well. And as you can see, it works really well. And like I said, you can create your own, so you have shapes that you can choose and you can just make your creations. And let me see what else you have. We can also add other shapes right here, 2D shapes. And you can also add text, and there is a bunch of new features that you can use. There is also a menu right here that allows you to save the project, upload to Remix 3D, print, and you also have different settings that you can turn on and off. It's important to note that while there is a new Paint 3D app on Windows 10, you can still access the All Paint app. That seems that it's not going away just yet. So if you want to use this one, the All app, you can still use it. But as you can see now, you have a button to open Paint 3D. So that's new on this version of Paint. And now let's move on, because there is also a new mixed reality portal app that you will use it only when you connect a virtual reality headset to Windows 10. So let me open this, the mixed reality portal, and this is the app. I don't have a headset, so I can't show you how this works, but this is the app that you're going to be using. If you need to add a new device, just click here, add it, and that should open the settings up to add the device and set it up. I'm gonna close that for now, and you can run the setup. And you also have a bunch of settings. Let me see if I can access those. I'm gonna show you all these settings when I'm actually detailing all the new changes for the settings app. There is also a new button to get mixed reality apps. Let me see if that actually gets me to some of the apps. No, right now it only opens the store, and apparently there is no apps right now for mixed reality, but in the future we're gonna find some of them. Alright, so that's a mixed reality portal, and I'm going to shut down. This shutdown is going to shut down the app. It's not going to shut down your computer. Just want to let you know that. Also, Skype. There is nothing new on Skype, but now the app is no longer on preview. So it's now we have the full version of Skype. But one thing that is new, it's a Skype SMS forwarding. It's a new feature that allows you to send and receive text messages from your computer, similar to iMessage on Mac OS. So that's also built in on Skype, which is a really nice addition. Now let's dive into the settings app, because there is a lot going on this experience. Let's start with the system section. On devices, now you're going to see that the experience has been completely updated and now has a new layout and more features. So for example, you no longer have to dig into different pages just to get to the screen resolution. So you can just come to the display settings and use the drop down menu to change the screen resolution of your display. While we were able to change the scaling options before, now you can do that using the new drop down menu. And if you want to use a custom scaling setting, you can just click the custom scaling link, and then here you can enter your custom value. But make sure that you understand that this might cause some text, apps, and other items to be unreadable if you don't use the correct numbers, and if those experiences they don't support the size that you're using. But if that's something that you need to do, you can come here and adjust the scaling settings. Then you have the multiple displays section. Older displays might not always connect automatically, so you can click the detect button to make sure that they connect to your computer, and you can also click the device the display adapter properties to access the properties of the monitor using the control panel settings. Perhaps the best addition for the display settings page is the new nightlight feature, which you can turn on and off with this toggle switch right here. And nightlight allows Windows 10 to automatically reduce the amount of blue light that your computer emits, and it shows more warmer colors. And this is really useful when you're working long hours at night. So it will help you to prevent eye strain, and it will improve your sleep quality. If you want to change the nightlight settings, simply click the nightlight settings link. And here you can turn on and off the feature on demand. You can change the color temperature that you want to the feature to use. And I don't know if the video is going to show, but as you move the slider up and down, it shows you the levels of intensity for the color temperature. And you can also schedule to turn on and off the feature. Just turn on the toggle switch. And here if you leave the default settings, which is this one, sunset at sunrise, Windows 10 will automatically detect your location and adjust these settings automatically. But if you want, you can also set custom hours by clicking the set hours and change the time when you want it to turn on and off. Now let's move on into the notifications and actions page. Here there are not too many improvements. Actually, there is only one new feature that you're going to find, and it's this new option that is called Show Me the Windows Welcome Experience after an update. And after you install the Windows 10 Creators Update, you're going to notice that Microsoft Edge will show you a welcome screen. And if you don't want to see that anymore in future updates, you can turn that off right here. And that's pretty much what's new on the notifications and actions page. There's nothing new on power and sleep. Now let's jump into battery. Battery hasn't received any major improvements on the page, but now on the more saving options, we get a new drop-down menu that allows to optimize the battery life of your device just to last longer using the optimize for battery life, or to you can also optimize it to watch videos. Now let's move on into storage. On storage, the Windows 10 Creators Update now introduces a new feature called the Storage Sense, which allows Windows to automatically free up space by getting rid of your files that you don't need, like temporary files, and those you send to the recycle bin. I think you have to turn on this manually. This is on right now because I think I did it in the past. If you want to change the settings for this feature, you have to click the change how we free up space link. And here you can select whether to only delete temporary files, or you can also decide whether Windows 10 will automatically empty your recycle bin after 30 days. Also, if you need to free up space immediately, you can click the clean now button, and that will delete all temporary files and empty the recycle bin all in one process. In previous version of Windows, we used to have the ability to change where your content was saved by default, and that's no longer on this page, but those settings haven't been removed from the Windows 10 Creators Update. You only have to click the change where new content is saved, and that will take you to a new page where you can find all the all settings. So here you can like before, if you have another storage device, you can select where to save your new apps, documents, music, photos, movies, and offline maps. Now when you click local storage, the interface has been updated, and now you can see it's easier to see how the space is used on that particular storage. I think we're getting new icons, but nothing else has changed on this section. Now let's jump into share experiences. This is a new page on the settings app for the Windows 10 Creators Update. Something that probably you're not going to be using a lot, but it's on by default, and it allows specific apps to work across devices. For example, if you're using a newsreader app on your Android or iPhone device, if that app is also available on Windows 10 and the developer included the share experiences feature, you can start reading an article on your Android phone, for example, and then come back to Windows 10 and pick up where you left off in the app for Windows 10. Now let's go back to Home, and now let's dive into the Devices section. Here we're going to see some new improvements as well. For example, the Bluetooth and connected devices pages, now they have been combined into one, and now it's called the Bluetooth and other devices. On this page you can turn on and off Bluetooth with this toggle switch right here, and whether you need to add a new USB printer or a Bluetooth device, you can just click the add Bluetooth or other device button and just follow the on-screen directions to install that device on your PC. Also, devices that you install on your computer, they will be listed on their category. For example, like if you add a new mouse or keyboard, they're going to be listed under mouse, keyboard, and pen. If you have other audio devices, they're going to be listed under audio, and anything else will be added into the other devices section. Also, with the Creators Update, the mouse and touchpad page has been split into two pages now. So now you have one for mouse and one for touchpad. On mouse, nothing has been changed, but now when you go to the touchpad page, now you will see that we have a bunch of new features specific for precision touchpad devices. So here you can turn on off the feature. You can change the cursor speed. For tab, you can change the touch sensitivity, and you have a bunch of levels that you can choose from, and there are different options that you can enable or disable, such as tap with a single finger to single click, two fingers to right click, tap twice and drag to for multiple select, and press the lower right corner to do a right click. We also get some options for scroll and zoom, and you can change the for example, one of the things that you can do here is to change the scrolling directions when you using a touchpad. If as default is the scroll down to scroll up, or you can switch it to scroll down and to set the direction down too. You can also here you can enable disable pinch to zoom, and you can enable disable drag two fingers to scroll. Also for precision touch touchpad, you can also configure some of the swipe gestures. As you can see here, you can choose to like do nothing, or switch apps and show desktop, or switch desktops and show desktop, or change audio and volume. Let me see, I'm just going to switch one, and you're gonna see how the gesture works. You're gonna see how that changes, and you can see how the new gesture works. And if you choose nothing, nothing is going to happen. You can also on tabs you can use custom or search with Cortana, Action Center, play or pause, middle mouse button, but I'm just going to leave the custom option right there. If you change any of the settings and you want to go back to the to original settings. Windows 10 also adds a reset button that allows you to go back to the default settings. On network and internet, there is a few new improvements. On status, now Microsoft recommends that if you're using a limited data plan, to use a meter connection or change the adapter properties. Also on Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi page has been updated, and now it combines the Wi-Fi Sense and paid Wi-Fi services into one section called Wi-Fi services. But keep in mind that while you will no longer see the mention of a Wi-Fi Sense anymore, the feature continues to be there, and it is the connected to suggested open hotspot if that's something that you want to turn on. Also, now with the Creators update, if you turn off your Wi-Fi connection, now you will get a drop-down menu that allows you to keep the Wi-Fi off until you come back and turn it back on manually, or you can set to turn back on the Wi-Fi adapter to connect to a network in an hour, 4 hours, or 1 day. Now let's jump into the Ethernet section. This page hasn't been updated, but now when you go to the Ethernet options, now the Windows 10 Creators Update allows us to set an Ethernet connection as a meter connection, which before we only were able to do using workarounds, and Microsoft now came through, and now you can set a meter connection for Ethernet as well as for Wi-Fi. On data usage, we're now going to see that the interface has been updated with a horizontal bar to view the data usage. And now when you click the view usage details, we can switch between the adapters that you have installed on your computer to see how data is being used on your device. Now let's go back to home, and now let's jump into personalization. On personalization, we have new interesting improvements. For example, let's start with the background page. Now when you switch to a solid color, you can click the custom color to set a custom background. And if you see it all black, you simply have to move the slider up. And now you can choose any color you want with this color picker. If you have a specific color that you want to add, you can click more, and you can enter your RGB color or HSV value, or you can enter your hexadecimal value number for the color you want. Once you found the color you want, just click done, and that will be the new color that will appear on your desktop. I'm just going to click cancel for now, and I'm going to return to my previous setting. And now let's jump into colors. Here this page has been updated, and now we have different sections. And now this, for example, like under choose your color, this automatically pick an accent color for your background. It used to be at the bottom, now it's at the top. And now Windows 10 remembers your last 5 colors that you use for the color accent on your computer. So if you change the color, and if you want to come back and you don't remember exactly which color you use, you can come here and roll back that setting. Similar to background, you can now pick your custom accent color, and you can click the custom color button to do that, and that will open the color picker to choose your custom accent color. And as you try to pick the color you want, you also are going to see a preview, so you can see how that color is going to look like. And the settings app also automatically will tell you if that color you trying to use, it's hard to read, so you might want to stay away from that color. And for example, there are other colors that are not supported. As you can see right now, you can use that color. So while you can pick any color you want, you still have some limitations with this feature. If you know the specific color you want to use, you can always click more, and you can type your hexadecimal number color right here on the right, or you can enter your RGB or HSV color. Once you're done selecting the color you want, just click done, and that color now will be applied to your system. For now, I'm just going to click cancel. Also, under more options, you can turn on and off transparency, and Microsoft just updated and made it a little bit better to change these two settings when you want to change the accent color for your taskbar, start menu, or action center. Even the title bars, instead of toggle switches, now we get check marks to enable or disable those features. Now let's jump into the themes page. Finally, with the Windows 10 Creators Update, we can change the theme of Windows 10 right from the settings app instead of using the control panel. Here you can see the current theme that you're using, and you get access to different options, such as to open the background, that will open this the background page. Color will open the colors page, and you can also change the sound and other cursor options. If you're using a custom theme, you can always click save the theme, so you can save it, and it will get listed here, and you can use another theme and then come back to the same one that you created. Under apply a theme, that's where all the themes that you download from the store will be listed. And if you want to get more themes, simply click the get more themes in the store, and here you will find a lot of free themes. But in the future, maybe we're going to start seeing pay themes as well. And the way you get a new theme, you just click the theme and click get, and that will install and apply to your computer. If you don't like a theme and you want to remove it, you can always right click the theme and click delete, and that will remove it from the list and remove it from your system. As you can see, I downloaded a bunch of themes that I like to use, so every once in a while I'll just come here and change the theme for my computer. On the start page, we only get a new option, which is the show app list in the start menu. If you don't want to show the app list on the start menu, you can just turn that off, and you can see now that we only get the pin tile section, but you can also access your all apps clicking the all apps button on the top left corner. Now I'm just going to leave this option on, and I go back and I get my list and my pin tile section. Now let's go back to home. Now let's jump into the apps section. While the apps section is new, the options, the pages are not new to Windows 10. These 4 pages, they used to be on the system settings section. Because that section was getting too crowded, Microsoft has split the two, so now all your apps settings will be located under the apps section. On apps and features, now we get a new option to control how apps are installed on your computer. By default, you can install apps from anywhere, downloading an app from the internet, from a USB drive, and even from the store. But now, because Microsoft is pushing more Windows Store apps, now we get two more options. You can show a warning that you're installing an app outside of the store, and if there is an equivalent app that is available through the store, you're also going to get that link and that warning. And you can also block all apps that are not from the store and only allow those provided inside of the Windows Store. If you choose this option, no one in this computer will be able to install any apps unless they come from the store. Basically, Microsoft is doing this to protect your PC because the apps from the store have been tested and approved by Microsoft that they will run good on your computer. So now let me show you how this works. So let's say we choose the allow apps from anywhere. If you use this option, nothing will change. So for example, if you go to if you try to download Firefox, you can click the run button and the installation will go through. Now if we use the warning option and then we reload this and we try to run the installation process, now you will see a message that you're trying to install an app that isn't verified by the store. Of course, there is no Firefox app on the Windows Store, but either way, the warning will give you a link to get apps from the store, and you can also install the app anyway by clicking the this button right here. And as you can see, the setup went through. So now let's say that we switch the option and we choose to allow only apps from the store, and then we go back to Microsoft Edge and then we try to run the setup for Firefox. Now we get a warning, but as you can see, there is no another option that lets you install the app on your computer. So that's how the new installing apps features on Windows 10 works. Now let's jump into the account section, more specifically into the sign-in options. And here we're getting a new feature called Dynamic Lock, which basically allows Windows 10 to detect when you're away and automatically lock your device. For this to happen, you need to pair a Bluetooth device to your computer before this works. And once you enable the feature, Windows 10 will detect when your Bluetooth device is far away, and it will automatically lock your device. Of course, when you come back, you have to enter your PIN password or your original password to log back into your system. While this might not be a big feature for many users, it's just another extra layer of security to keep your computer and data secure. Inside of time and language, now we're going to see on date and time, we're getting a new feature called the show additional calendars in the taskbar that allows you to follow the simplified Chinese calendar or the traditional Chinese calendar. For example, if we open the calendar right now, we only get the traditional calendar that we use every day. But if you follow the simplified or traditional Chinese calendars, you can add those as well. For example, I'm just going to show you the simplified Chinese calendar. So now I'm just going to open again the calendar, and now you're going to see that at the bottom of the number you can follow the simplified Chinese calendar. Now let's go back to home. And gaming, it's a new section starting with the Windows 10 Creators Update. And here you will find all the features that you can configure on Windows 10 related to gaming. Here, for example, we have 4 different pages for Game Bar, the Game DVR settings, broadcasting, and game mode. So inside of the game bar, you can control the recording settings for clips, screenshots, and broadcast settings using the game bar. You can turn that on and off. You have an option to open the game bar using the button on a controller that you connect to your computer, and you can also show the game bar when you play it in full screen mode that Microsoft has verified to work with. Under keyboard shortcuts, you can customize the shortcuts any way you like. If you don't like the predefined shortcuts, you can change to whatever is it that you want. All right, so let's move on into the game DVR page. Here you can control how you capture your games through a screenshot and game clips, and if you want to change the where the default screenshot and game clips are saved, you can set that folder here. Also, there is some background recorder settings. You can change the record settings in the background when playing games, and also for recorder desk, you can set the maximum recording length if you want to. And there's also some recording audio options that you can choose. For example, you can turn on and off to record audio when you're recording a game, and you can change the audio quality and change the system volume and Microsoft volume individually. There is also some recorder video settings. You can change the frame rate when recording an audio, and you can change the video quality as well to standard or high, and you can even choose whether to capture the mouse cursor when recording. Alright, so now let's jump into broadcasting. These basically are the settings to control the Beam integration on the Windows 10 Creators Update. If you're not familiar with Beam, Beam is a company that Microsoft acquired that allows to do in-game broadcast, and now it comes built into the operating system, and here you can change some of those settings. You have some broadcast audio settings that you can use. You can change the audio quality, and you can turn on and off the the microphone when you're doing a broadcast, and you can even use you can enable or disable the audio echo cancellation. Also, there is a camera section that allows you to not only broadcast the game, but you can broadcast yourself, and you can turn that on and off here. And there is also an option to capture the mouse cursor when you're in broadcasting mode. Now let's jump into the game mode page for the Windows 10 Creators Update. This is perhaps one of the biggest features that gamers are going to get in this new update, and this allows Windows 10 to make better use of the system resources and make games run a lot better. Now let me show you how this works. Once you install the Windows 10 Creators Update on your computer, you need to come to this page, and you need to turn on the toggle switch for use game mode, and then you need to open the game bar using the Windows key plus G keyboard shortcut, and just make sure that you check the use game mode for this game, and that's how you enable the feature for a specific game. Okay, so now let's go back to home. Now let's jump into easy of access. In easy of access on Narrator, now we get Braille support, which is still in beta. And if you need to use this feature, you need to click the download and install Braille. And now once you install Braille support on your computer, you can enable and disable the feature with this option right here. You can add a new Braille display, change language, and choose the table type to grade 1, 2, and you also get the computer Braille 8 dot. Now let's go to the privacy section. In the general page, we're not going to see new additions. Instead, some of the setting has been removed, and now we only have 3 options that we can enable and disable. The tasks page is new. Some apps need to access your task to work as intended, and you can control which apps get access to your tasks through this new page. However, the mail and calendar app, they need to access your tasks, so you can turn that off for these 2 apps. Under feedback and diagnostics, this page has been updated, and now instead of 3 options, we get 2 options that you can select. Because I'm a part of the Insider program, don't get to manage this. But if you want to control which data you send to Microsoft, once you install the Windows 10 Creators Update, you can come here and select which one to and which kind of level of data you want to send to the company. Also, this is a new option. Let Microsoft provide tailored experiences with relevant tips and recommendations using diagnostic data, and you can turn that on and off here. Apps and diagnostics is a new page instead of the privacy settings, and basically here you can choose whether apps can access diagnostic information from other apps. So some apps use diagnostic information from other apps to run as they are intended to work. And some of this information include the app name, account name, memory usage, CPU usage, hard drive, and network usage. If you don't want apps to access that information, you can turn on and off apps individually, or you can turn off the feature right here. But preventing access to the diagnostic information might limit what an app that uses that information can do. Now let's move on into the apps and security. On Windows Update, now you're going to see that if your computer is up to date, now it has a new green badge that it will let you know that everything is alright and you don't need to take further actions to update your computer. We go to update history. Now you're going to notice that updates, they're categorized. So if you have a quality update, those are the updates that you get every month. So right now, Microsoft only released 2 updates, and they will be listed right here. And feature updates, as you can see, that's the Windows Insider Preview 15.063, which technically is the Windows 10 Creators Update. Also for driver updates, you can check those in here. On change active hours, now you can set active hours up to 18 hours, and as you can see, now we get a new experience that matches the design language of the settings app. And I don't need to change anything here, so I'm going to cancel. Restart options. If you want to get a reminder when your computer is going to restart to apply an update, you have to leave this on. If not, you can turn that off. On the advanced options section, we also getting a new feature called pause updates, which allows you to temporarily pause updates from being installed on your device up to 7 days. So if you want to prevent initial issues when a new update releases, Microsoft now allows us to pause updates on your computer. On Windows Defender, we're not going to find any more settings because that is part of the Windows and Defender Security Center, but we still get a button to open the Windows Security Center right here on the All Settings page. Troubleshoot, that's a new page included on the Settings app for the Windows 10 Creators Update, and Troubleshooters, they are not new to Windows 10. We had them for a while. You were able to access them from the control panel, but now they're listed here on the settings app, and you can just run a bunch of troubleshooters to fix different problems such as internet connection, audio, printer, Windows Update, and a lot more. For example, like if I want to troubleshoot home group, I will just click the home group option, and I click the run the troubleshooter to fix it. And as you can see, it still opens the control panel troubleshooter. Now, you also are going to see a new mixed reality section only if you connect a virtual reality headset or you run the mixed reality app. Let me see if I can show you that. This is the app. Once you went through the setup, you can close that and you will see the new mixed reality section. Basically, if you don't have a virtual reality headset, you don't have to worry about these settings, but let me just show you really quick what you have, what you can configure on this section. Here you got 3 pages: audio and speech, headset displayed, and uninstall. In audio, as the name implies, you can change the audio and speech settings for mixed reality. So you can choose the speakers to use when using the Windows mixed reality, and you can also select your microphone. You also get a speech option that it's called use speech recognition on Windows mixed reality. On the headset display, you can do some calibration, so to improve the quality of the visuals of the experience. And then on uninstall, you can uninstall Windows mixed reality if it isn't working okay, so you can reinstall it back again, or if you need to, or if you're running out of space and you need a little more room to store other files, you can uninstall the feature right here. But you still need to manually uninstall the mixed reality portal app. So, and that's basically everything that has been changed on the Windows settings app for the Windows 10 Creators Update. A few other improvements on the settings app that you're going to find. Let me just go to network and internet, and let me just show you really quick that now when you scroll up and down, you will see that the title of the page will always stay visible, so you know in what section on what page you are when you're navigating the settings app. You're also going to see the related links. Now they're located on the top right corner instead of the bottom of the page. And throughout the settings app, you're also going to notice there's some options. Let me see if I go back to, not here. Let's say if you go to USB, instead of a toggle switch, now you're going to find a checkbox to enable or disable the feature. You're gonna find this change on some of the settings throughout the experience. And that concludes what's all that's new on the settings app for the Windows 10 Creators Update. Microsoft Edge, the default web browser, is also getting better with this new update. And on this version, you will find a new tab management system with a number of new tools. For example, you can now view all the open tabs at once with previews by clicking the Show Tabs Preview button. And you can click the buttons on the side to scroll between the open tabs. In addition, you can now save tabs in groups to declutter and organize your work by clicking the Set this tab aside. And this is the button. You click this, and this will clear all the tabs, and they will be grouped into the new tabs that you set aside section. You can restore an individual tab by just clicking the tab you want, or you can click the restore tabs link right here on the top right, and that will restore all the tabs from a specific group. You can also click the more option, which will let you add the tabs that you saved to your favorites, or you can click the share tabs, which will open the new share experience on Windows 10, so you can send those links via email, Twitter, or to OneNote or other apps. On this version of the browser, you're also going to find a new icon for Hab and another one for the web node, and throughout the operating system you're also going to see this new share button as well. Now let's move on into the settings improvements. Inside of settings, there are not many changes, but for example, now you will see this new option, the import favorites and other info, right on the basic settings, where you can click the import from another browser button. We already have the options to import favorites from Internet Explorer and Chrome, but now you can also import and export bookmarks using HTML files. So just click the button to import the file, select the file, and it will import all the favorites from another browser. And you can also do the same if you want to migrate to another browser. Just click the export button, and that will allow you to save your bookmarks and take it to another web browser. Also in this section, you're going to see a new favorite bar option that allows you to show your bookmarks bar on the browser. You can turn that on and off. And when you go to the advanced settings, you're also going to see a new open sites in apps. This is a new feature that allows Microsoft Edge to open a website using an app instead of actually loading the site. For example, if you go to facebook.com, and if you have the Facebook app installed on your computer, it will open the app instead of loading the page. You can control which sites use apps by clicking the choose which sites open in apps, and this will open the settings app so you can change those settings. And that's pretty much it. What's new on the advanced settings for the Microsoft Edge web browser. Okay, let me just get out of here, and now let me just return to my tabs that I set aside. I'm going to restore my tabs, and I just want to show you that now the web browser blocks the flash content automatically. As you can see right here, this new puzzle icon indicates that some content has been blocked because it was flash content, but you can always click the button to allow once or always allow from the site. So that's a new addition that Microsoft is adding to make the web browser a little more secure and improve performance and security. Microsoft Edge now connects to Microsoft Wallet to access your payment and shipping information associated with your Microsoft account. The new feature makes it easier for you to go through the checkout process without having to re-enter the required information, and it makes experience more consistent across websites and devices. So when you install the Windows 10 Creators Update on supported websites, now you're going to start seeing more and more the Microsoft Wallet that will, when you're ready to check out, that will populate all the information required to complete the purchase, and you can easily just click the pay button to complete the transaction. The web browser also introduces a new ebook reader, so you can read your books that you purchase from the Windows Store, and those EPUB files that are unprotected and you have a store on your computer. So you can access those books by clicking the new hub icon and then just going to the books section. I don't have a book but purchased from the store, but I do have an EPUB, and let me just show you This is how the ebook reader looks like. And to access the tools to navigate the book, you just simply click the current page, left click, or you can tap into the page to access the toolbar that lets you access the table of contents to navigate between all the parts of the book. You can also access your bookmarks and do search on the book if you have a specific word or something that that you need to find. You can use the search functionality right here. In addition, you can also click the options button to change the font size and spacing between the words, just to make it wider for make it easy to read. You can also change the font style, and you can change the theme of the book. Perhaps one of the best features for the ebook reader is the read out loud feature that allows the e-reader to actually read aloud the content of the book. You can use that if you just don't want to read the book, or if you have a disability and you need this feature. That's something that you can use. You can also, if you need to bookmark a page, you just click the bookmark button on the right. You can always flip pages by clicking on the far right or far left of the page, and you can also use the this scroll bar right here. Lets you quickly jump to different chapters and pages. And that's pretty much it. This is how the ebook reader looks like on the Microsoft Edge web browser. Another improvement on this new version, it's happening on web notes. Web notes, they're not new to the browser, but now it's been updated. So when you try to annotate a page, now you will see that the user interface for web notes has been updated. Instead of having the tools on the left, now they are located on the right, and they are aligned with the design for the Windows Ink experience for Windows 10. Also, downloading an executable file from the internet, for example, when you're downloading an app, you now have the options to run the app setup, instead of just having to click the save button or save as to first download it and then run it. It's just a way to make it a little bit easier for users to install an application right away. This version of Microsoft Edge also includes support for jump list. So now you can right click the icon in the taskbar to access different tasks, but for now you can only create a new window, or you can open the in private mode in the web browser. Under the hood, Microsoft Edge is also adding support for WebVR, which is a standard that allows websites to offer virtual reality experiences similar to desktop without having to add plugins or installing anything else. And the browser, you're also going to notice that pages are just going to load a little bit faster, and overall it's going to perform a little bit better than the previous version. And that's pretty much what's new for the Microsoft Edge for the Windows 10 Creators Update. The Creators Update also introduces a new security tool called the Windows Defender Security Center. This app shouldn't be confused with the Windows Defender antivirus, because they are not the same. Actually, the antivirus now is integrated into the Windows Defender Security Center. So to open the app, simply go to Start and look for Windows Defender. And this is the app. And in this new dashboard, you can find a number of tools to control malware and network protection, device performance, and a number of different options. As you can see, this is the main page where you can see right away if your device is protected with some information from the antivirus scan. And you can also switch between the sections right here, and you will see also a green badge that tells you right away if something is not working right on your computer. The Windows Defender Security Center is divided into 6 sections. The home, which is that we already talked about, and then when we go to virus and threat protection, here's where you can find all your settings for the Windows Defender antivirus. The first thing you're going to notice is that you can get your scan history. You can click that and get different information for current threats, quarantine, allowed threats, and scan information. You can always go back, and from here you can start a quick scan or click the advanced scan, which will allow you to not only do a full scan of your computer for viruses and other malware, but you can also customize a custom scan, or you can even use the Windows Defender offline scan, which is going to help you to get rid of difficult malicious software that might be infected on your computer, and the antivirus cannot remove if you're logged in on your computer. On the virus and protection settings, that's where you will go to customize your protection for your computer, and you will see an options to enable and disable the real-time protection and other settings, including the ability to exclude auto remove exclusions. So if you have a folder that you don't want the antivirus to scan, you can come to this section and just add the locations that you don't want the antivirus to scan. These are the same options that you used to find on the settings app, but now they have been moved into the Windows Defender Security Center. And finally, on this section, we got the protection updates. This should happen automatically, but if you just want to check for new updates, you can come to this page and just click the check for updates to update the definition for the Windows Defender antivirus. If you're using a third-party antivirus, you will not get all these options, but you will be able to open that third-party antivirus right from this section. So now let's jump into device and performance. Here's where you're going to see the health reports on your computer, and I don't have any reports here, but most of the time you're going to see reports of Windows Update, this capacity on your computer, and other issues. So if you don't see anything or everything, it's marked as it's marked with that green check mark. Everything it's all right. But perhaps the most important feature for the Windows Defender Security Center, at least from my point of view, is the fresh start option. This is what it used to be called the refresh Windows, and we used to find it on the settings app, which was a little tool that you downloaded from the internet and allowed you to reinstall Windows 10 on your computer. Well, Microsoft now replaced that tool, and now it's called Fresh Start. And basically what it does, it allows you to, when your computer is not working right, or you just want to start with a fresh copy of Windows 10, you can use the Fresh Start to reinstall Windows with all the updates. And it will, this option will also keep your personal files settings, but it will remove some of your apps. To use this app, you have to click the additional info link, and then just click the Get Started button and follow the guide. It's really easy to use, but always just remember to create a backup before going through this process. You can also see when was the last time I tried this tool, and you have some options to see remove apps on that instance, which I don't have any right now, and then you have a link to get more information about this tool. Alright, so now let's move on to firewall and network protection. Here you're not going to find all the firewall settings that you find on control panel, at least just yet. Right now we only have two options and a bunch of links that will open control panel. As you can see right now, I just click the allowed an app through firewall, and it opens control panel, so I can change the firewall setting right there. And the same thing as it's for these links right here. The only options that you have on firewall and network protection are to turn on and off the firewall. So you have one option to configure the private network. So you can come here and just enable the Windows firewall or disable it, or block all incoming connections. And the same thing is for the public network. So you can turn off the firewall for public networks and block all incoming connections. And that's pretty much all the stuff that you can control right now on the firewall and network protection. Now let's move on into apps and browser control. Here you can set up the Windows Defender Smart Screen settings for apps and browser, so you can change the settings for check app and files. And pretty much you will never have to change these settings unless you have something really specific that you need to configure, but the options are here. You can also change the Smart Screen for Microsoft Edge and for the for Windows Store apps. Family options. Here's you're only going to get some information of what this section is, and you will get two links to view your family settings. But when you click this, it will open Microsoft Edge, and it will take you to your Microsoft account where you can control different parental controls, and such as set the screen times, keep track of your kids' digital life, and other aspect of parental control. You can also see devices that are connected to your Microsoft account, and to do that you have to click the View Devices link. Finally, the Windows Defender Security Center also includes a settings page that allows you to control the Windows Defender antivirus. So if there is any activity, Windows Defender will always give you toast notification on the bottom right corner. And if you want, you can turn that off right here, and you can access to the virus and threat protection settings right from this page. And also, it might be a little bit redundant, but Microsoft included the Windows. Actually, this is not redundant. These are Windows firewall notifications. I got it confused with some of the settings in the firewall and network protection. So here you can turn on and off notifications when Windows Firewall blocks a new app, and here you can also enable other two firewall notifications. That's pretty much what's new with the Windows Defender Security Center. And something related, it's that now for the Windows Defender antivirus, now we get a new icon on the system tray on the notification area, where you can see at a glance if your computer is protected with the green check mark. And when you open the and when you right click to open the Windows Defender antivirus, it will actually open the Windows Defender Security Center. So we no longer have the all dashboard to control the antivirus. So now everything that's related to security is going to be managed by the Windows Security Center, starting with the Windows 10 Creators Update. The Windows 10 Creators Update also gets a new out-of-box experience featuring Cortana, and Microsoft adds simplified privacy settings, replacing the old Express and Custom setup, and now it's only just one process. I created in the past a video with a walkthrough of how this new experience looked like. So I'll be leaving a link in the video description so you can see how the new out-of-box experience works on the Windows 10 Creators Update. So, and that pretty much wraps it up. And now you know everything that Microsoft is including with the Windows 10 Creators Update. Remember to like the video, leave your comments, and subscribe if you haven't done that yet. And I just hope this video was informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.